All right, so to do the back squat, you're gonna start by resting the bar on your upper back with your feet about shoulder width apart, can be a little bit wider, and then your heels down on the ground. It's okay for your toes to point out slightly, but you don't want them to be pointed out excessively wide. To initiate the movement, you're gonna squat like you're sitting down in a chair. So that means you're primarily bending your knees first, hips will bend secondary, and you wanna keep your knees out throughout the movement. You're gonna then squat down until you close that knee angle with the hamstring on the calf. To return to the top position, you're gonna drive your shoulders into the bar, driving your hips forward into the process. So I don't want my hips to be back there as I come up. I want to drive my hips forward to where I'm standing tall. And then I want to press my big toe into the ground as I'm doing this. That's a key detail because not only is your big toe connected with your hamstrings and your glutes, but it also is how we most effectively put force into the ground, so this transfers into our sport. Throughout the movement, you want to imagine that the bar only goes straight up and down, so that way you're not having the bar come forward or anything like that. That's going to allow you to execute this movement. All right. Some common errors that people have when they're doing this include bending primarily at the hip. So that's one way people will have an error on this, is they turn this into more of an RDL instead of primarily bending at the knees like on a squat. Another error that some people will have is they'll allow their knees to cave or bow in into what we call knee valgus. That's why it's important that you drive your knees out. And then a third error is people will allow their heels to come up, whether that's on the way down or on the way up. When we do squats with our heels up, that's a completely different exercise, so you want to keep your heels down as you're doing this. But as long as you execute this movement the way I described at the beginning, you are on your way to a very solid back squat.